there, it's Laura with Lexically Literate. I just wanted to pop on here today and talk about one of my favorite things, which is books. I'm a speech language pathologist and I work with the school aged population. Right now I'm on maternity leave, but I am still passionate about my field and wanting to help people to just help their children to develop language in the best way possible as they're growing up. So really talking to those who have especially young children, but even kids that are in school as well. So the thing about it is when people ask me, how does Elias, who's my oldest, he's about to turn 3, how does he talk so well? I have lots and lots of really good tips for what I did for him. I think he's also just blessed with being talkative because he comes from me and my husband. But also, I've got some really great tips I'd like to share. And the number one thing is to read to your child. And I know some people, they really don't like reading. It's not their thing. They were maybe more of a math person in school. But I think that it's really important to prioritize reading to your children, especially when they're little. So how does this reading to your child thing help with developing their language? Well, for one thing, it helps them develop what's called phonological awareness. So that's understanding how sounds are making up words. And they need to know that so that then they can understand that when they get to that kindergarten age and they're learning about letters, that then they know that letters and sounds go together, and then we can use those letters to spell words and to read words. And so sometimes, though, if a child has a language impairment, which I can definitely give you more information about that if you're interested, but if your child's already in school and you know that they have a language impairment, or if maybe you're a little bit concerned about how they're developing language, they're not using as many words as you think they should for this age, those sorts of things, then that can definitely affect how they learn to read, and they may have more trouble learning to read and write. So it's extra important to promote literacy for those kiddos. And if you are developing their reading skills when they're young, it's really important to note that that can really impact their later academic success. So, how do you use books for language development and make the most of this really easy to implement thing? Well, don't make the mistake of waiting until they're older to read to them, because I know it can be really tempting when you've got a squirmy little toddler sitting on your lap, because they won't sit and listen to the words that are on the page a lot of times, especially if they're around like 1 year old. They're not interested in listening to the text that you're reading. But you can still look at books with these babies, especially those board books that just have the bright colors on them, so it's really engaging for them, very eye-catching. And then you don't be tied to the words on the page. Like, you can just point to the pictures and talk about them. Oh, look, this little puppy dog is running. Do you see the puppy dog? Ruff, ruff, ruff. You know, be animated, be silly. I know that's not everybody's thing, but just make it fun for you and for your child. Because if you're having fun, then they're going to have fun and they're going to be interested and engaged. And by doing that, they're going to learn vocabulary concepts. And just the habit of sitting down and reading with your child is going to teach them what's called concepts of print. So they're going to learn about, how do we hold a book? Oh, how do we turn the pages? Oh, we start at this side of the book and we turn the pages this way. We read from left to right. So if your child is a little bit older and they are interested in listening to the words that are on the page, I would encourage you to use your finger to follow along as you're reading. And then they know, oh, the words that Mama or Daddy is saying are the ones that are on the page. And, oh, they go in this direction. And it may not be a conscious thing that they're learning, but subconsciously they're soaking this all up, and it just becomes part of, oh, that's just what we do with a book, right? So those foundational skills of those concepts of print are going to really help your child to develop their literacy. I've got a few more tips for how to encourage them to be good readers. Having lots of books in your house is really helpful. I know, especially in today's age where we have Kindles, we have our phones where we can just read on our phones. It's super convenient, but it's also not showing your child that you're reading a book. They don't know if you're checking Facebook or reading a novel, So just having books in your home and in their environment makes it normal for them, makes them interested in them, and it just becomes part of their life. And then letting your child see you reading those books would be really good. Because if it just, again, becomes part of their lifestyle. They see their parents or their caregivers reading often, then they're going to follow that pattern and that model that you're setting for them, and then they can become good readers as well. And then the most important thing, like I mentioned at the beginning, was to read to your child every single day. And that can be kind of a hard habit to get into, but once you get into it, it really pays off in spades. And I actually have a freebie that I created that is a calendar, and every day of the month has a little black and white smiley face on it. And you can print this off for whichever month you're in. There's one for every month for this year. And put it on your refrigerator or somewhere that is going to remind you. And then if your child is old enough, they can color in the little smiley face for every day. Do different colors for every day of the week, whatever you want to do. Just so it's like, oh yeah, we read today. I get to color in my smiley face, and make them be excited about developing this new habit. And I would really recommend doing it before bed. That's what I do with my children, is just every night before bed, we brush teeth, we turn on the sound machine, turn on the nightlight, we cuddle up in bed, and we read a little book. And it's really one of my favorite parts of the day. And I think it's easy to make it become a habit if you're always doing it at the same time every day as well. And then before I let you go, I kind of wanted to talk about if you think that your child might have a speech impairment, how reading can help with that. So if your child does have a speech sound disorder, it can make it more challenging for them to learn to read. That's because the alphabet is going to be harder for them to learn those letter sounds if they are not producing those sounds correctly in speech. But there's a bright side, because learning to read, practicing hearing reading, and practicing reading is going to help their speech to improve. When I do speech therapy sessions, I always try to pair the letter with the sound that I'm teaching. So maybe the child is working on the K sound. At the beginning of the session, I say, what sound are you working on? And then if they can say the sound, they'll tell me K. I'm like, yeah, that's right. And what letter goes with that sound? And then I show them a visual representation of the letter K. We name the letter K, and that way they're learning. Even my little babies that are like 3 years old and don't have any clue about any of the letters of the alphabet yet, I still will do that so that they can learn to pair the sound and the letter. And it's especially important, like I said, if they're already having trouble with that sound. And then I also wanted to talk about what are some good books that you can read with your child. So I am a big fan of the library. You can get all sorts of free books to check out from the library, of course. If you live in Tennessee, like me, then you can sign up for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. If you don't know about this, it's really, really awesome. I'll try to leave a link down below for that so that you can sign up for that if you're in Tennessee, because they send you free books through the mail. So then I'm big on convenience. I don't want to have to even get out to go to the library. Maybe I'm lazy. I don't know. But they send them to you through the mail, and you don't have to pay for them at all. They're beautiful books. They're just awesome. So our home library has tons of books from Dolly. So, and my son has even started, her picture is on the back and or inside the back cover, and my little boy is always like, Dolly Parton gave me this book. So it's really sweet. Anyway, so I hope that I've encouraged you to read to your child every single day, and told you some of the reasons that this is going to really help their speech and language development and how excited I am about it. Don't forget to download your free reading calendar that I've created for you so that you can start to make this a habit, make it fun, get you and your child excited about doing this. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. This is one of those things that I'm just really excited about and I enjoy. So just let me know, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.